Welcome in, my friends. 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. End of the month. Holy cow. Can't believe it's already April. That's insane. But I want to talk about the end of the month because I have seen two different things happen recently that it's really annoying end of month. So let's look end of month vendor to dealer situation. I think one of the most annoying things to hear in the world, and yes, of course, it applies to retail sales, but it is more business to business, which is this concept that today and tomorrow the offer is the best it will be, but when the clock strikes Wednesday, April 1st, that deal will change, expire, or go away. Now, it's to me weak leverage. It's a weak way to approach things. The product is the product. Look, I get they all have goals, they all have numbers they have to hit. I understand it. I really do. But to make the threat of today's deal is the deal and come Wednesday, I just don't know. I don't know if that deal is going to work for me is a bunch of bullshit, frankly, because in the product world, not a lot changes. And the reason I said that I think it has to do also with retail sales is because retail sales, we do the same thing, right? Today, tomorrow, you'll be making deals about today's the day, got to make the deal before the end of the month, And we've conditioned the consumer in retail to believe that the best deal to be had is in the last week of the month. If you look at most deals, most dealers will do 60% of their business or better from the 15th and beyond, in most cases, in most months. That's kind of a driven thing by us, though, as an industry, because of this last time of the month sort of excitement and where we can go and what we can do with it and how we can do it. All of those things. I tell you this, my friends, the deals shouldn't change. And again, I used to say the same thing I say in retail as I say being a business owner, which is we'll be in business next month. So whether we hit the objective or whether we don't or whatever we're selling, the price is the price. Over here at CarBiz, we don't have some floating price structure. The price is the price. Today, tomorrow, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 30th. Makes no difference. Now, the manufacturers, sure, they can get in different rebates and some of that shit can change, in the moment, of course, right? Obviously. But for the most part, the deals being offered at the end of the month are the same deals being offered at the beginning of the month. However, from an internal retail perspective, those chasing a manufacturer number, some of that manufacturer money, that can be associated with the better deal, seeing how close you are to the goal, right? You're like, oh, I'm so close. I'll move a couple units to hit the price, whatever. That's a thing that can definitely matter. But at end of month, the other thing that I see that I think is a little crazy is this added pressure on people that like, oh, you better make those 2 deals today and you better take that. Pressure rolls downhill, people. So when you're pressuring your managers to get deals, then they go down from managers to the salespeople, and then the salespeople ratchet up the pressure on the consumer. Typically not a great idea, typically. Now, look, I understand wanting people to have urgency. I do. Urgency is a big part of sales. But to me, the bigger part of sales is the long-term push, the long-term relationship. And in order to establish that and to make those deals, all you can do is, yes, end of the month, always a great time to do business, always a great time to do business. And again, in retail world, these numbers could change. But that's just, it's like fluid in the way that you should like make it obvious to people that you will be in business next month. And that, yes, obviously I want to do all these deals. But what happens is we'll do a bunch of deals. We'll pull a bunch of people forward, let's say in the month of March. And then April will start off sluggish. And then, well, what the hell happened in April? Well, if every day and every month and every week you weren't so concerned about filling up the last 5 days and doing all these things and looking at things more on a 60-day, 90-day turn scale, it's just a healthier way for everyone to approach this situation. Because again, at the end of the month, everyone already knows the pressure that exists to hit their number, right? Now, as of today, right, we're doing this here on a Monday. There are clients who are probably like, hey, boom, I hit my number. I'm good. Maybe they do pack it away for the next month. Maybe we do, do some sandbagging, as we call it. But at the end of the day, to help April start off better, I'm all right with it. I really am. I know that probably doesn't sit well with many people, but I'm okay with it, man. If we're moving and shaking, why don't we find a way to incentivize early month business since we know we're going to get the end month business, right? And it's I'd like to say it doesn't always revolve around offers, but we are getting to a point in our world and in our world economy where money is mostly what matters. Value and pricing is what matters. And you're seeing it now. I mean, end of month here, I've seen probably 5 or 6 commercials from OEMs that are lease based, that are offer based, that have 0 plus other shit. Okay. So everyone is starting to understand that ratcheting up offers and making them aggressive is important. Doing that month to month. And again, this is like we're at the end of March. What are we getting? We're starting off the spring into summer selling season. This is where it hits. This is where we all start to go a little bit crazy and really start to push hard in the numbers. The beginning of this year, first quarter probably wasn't as like outstanding as maybe previous Q1s. It does show market compression. It does show consumer compression. It does show an overall lack of desire to get into big payments. We've seen a ton of upside down right now. And that's what I tell people. Find ways to finance. Find ways to get car deals done with people who are in a tougher spot. That's where you'll find your incremental. Finding your upend business right now, I don't want to say is easy, but it's easier because at the end of the day, certain people are going to replace their cars. We know that. Our returning consumers are going to be there. But where do we go and find the next consumer? How do we get them involved in our funnel? Well, one of the ways to not do it is to put the pressure on them about today is the day, tomorrow is different. And again, I understand in retail as the caveat, hey, today's rebates are this. Those could change on Monday or Wednesday or whatever. That could happen. We'll make accounts for that in your deal and blah, blah, blah. But this is your deal as of today. Urgency sells, pressure creates diamonds, right? This is what I hear. But putting pressure on a consumer gets them to stop. And I know that doesn't what people want to hear, but been doing this a long time. I've seen the habits. We've seen the behavior, and putting pressure on people doesn't typically move the needle. It doesn't typically, especially today. There's ways to create urgency with the idea of it, but pressure and urgency are two different discussions. So as I said, end of month, let's just remember that the majority of us will be in business the next month. And that the deals that we don't get in this month, we will work really hard to get in the next month. But guys, ladies, gentlemen, folks, I've had deals that have taken me business to business over 2 years to close, follow up. And again, I don't even have that crazy of a product. It sounds nuts to me. But if you don't hear a no or a but elsewhere or go in a different direction, then the door is still slightly open. And we should take advantage of that every chance we get. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this week. Tune in next week. We're going to kind of take this discussion on to another spot of this. We're going to be talking about the idea of the gross versus velocity play, which is coming up a lot. And I'm really loving the discussions that we're hearing around it. Thank you guys so much. Have yourselves a wonderful close to March. Get out there. Enjoy the nice weather where you are if you got it. And we'll do it all again next week. Thanks.